Okay, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to completely flip your perspective on nature, science, history, and, well, the whole universe. We're counting down some absolutely mind-blowing discoveries that honestly sound entirely made up, but are actually 100% scientific fact. I mean, think about it. What if sharks were actually older than trees? It sounds completely absurd, right? Like a massive typo in a biology textbook. But the truth is, millions of people refuse to believe concepts like this, even when they're staring right at hard, undeniable evidence. Or, hey, how about this one? What if a day lasted longer than a year? It's a complete paradox. It literally breaks our fundamental understanding of time. So I'm going to challenge you to stick with this explainer until the very last, most shocking fact we cover today. Because I promise you, the deeper we go, the crazier these concepts get. Every single one of these facts is 100% true. While they might sound totally fabricated, we're going to dive into the actual hard data to prove exactly how and why these phenomena exist. All right, let's just jump right in, starting with our first reality-bending fact. Fact number 100, nature's ultimate preservative. Picture this. You're an explorer, and you open up this sealed jar of honey that was stored away thousands of years ago. You wipe off the dust, pop the lid, take a scoop, and it's actually perfectly safe to eat. No, seriously, this isn't science fiction. Archaeologists have actually discovered edible pots of honey buried deep inside ancient Egyptian tombs. They were just sitting there in the dark for millennia, and they're still remarkably well preserved. So, what's the secret? Well, it all comes down to the chemistry. You know how most foods rot or spoil after just a few weeks? Honey is different. It naturally contains very, very little water. And because of that incredibly low moisture content, bacteria and fungi simply cannot survive inside of it. Plus, bees actually produce these special enzymes that create a naturally acidic environment. So if you store it properly, honey can remain edible for generations. Long before we ever understood the science of chemistry, nature had already whipped up one of the world's most effective natural preservatives. How cool is that? Moving right along to fact 99. Older than trees. When you picture ancient history on Earth, you're probably imagining giant dinosaurs roaming around, right? Well, let's completely reframe that timeline. Over 400 million years ago, the earliest sharks appeared in our oceans. But get this, it wasn't until tens of millions of years later that the very first forests actually began to cover the land. That means sharks were already cruising through ancient deep seas long before a single tree even existed on the surface. And this unparalleled resilience is exactly why scientists consider sharks one of evolution's greatest success stories. I mean, over hundreds of millions of years, sharks have survived multiple mass extinctions, the exact same catastrophic events that completely wiped out countless other species, including, the dinosaurs. Well, they weren't enough to stop the shark. Their evolutionary resilience is just totally unmatched. All right, let's head to space for fact 98, a very long day. So out in the cosmos, most planets spin on their axes pretty rapidly. But our planetary neighbor Venus, it's a massive anomaly. It rotates so incredibly slowly that one full day on Venus, meaning the time it takes for the planet to spin around exactly one time, takes about 243 Earth days. But here's the kicker. Venus actually completes one entire trip around the Sun in only about 225 Earth days. Which leaves us with this reality-defying paradox. A day is literally longer than a year. If you're standing on the surface of Venus right now, a single day from sunrise to sunrise would actually take longer than an entire year of orbiting the sun. Just pause and let that physics-breaking concept sink in for a second. It is, without a doubt, one of the strangest things happening anywhere in our solar system. Let's bring the scale back down to Earth for fact 97. Hotter than the sun. We've all seen lightning flash in a fraction of a second, right? It comes and goes in the literal blink of an eye. But during that unbelievably brief moment, the air surrounding the strike becomes roughly 5 times hotter than the visible surface of the sun. Just think about that. 5 times hotter than the giant burning star at the center of our solar system happening right here in our own atmosphere. Because of those extreme temperatures, the surrounding air is forced to expand explosively. And that violent, rapid expansion, that's exactly what creates the booming thunder you hear just moments later. But what's even wilder is that this isn't some rare, once-in-a-lifetime event. Every single second, dozens of these lightning strikes occur somewhere on Earth, releasing just enormous amounts of energy in an instant. And remember, this is only the beginning. We have barely scratched the absolute surface of the things in our universe that completely defy common sense. From ancient honey to planets where time barely makes sense, well, the remaining facts on this countdown are going to escalate to even more unbelievable scales. So I have to ask you, are you ready for the next 96 shocking discoveries? Because honestly, if you thought surviving a mass extinction before trees existed was wild, or that a day could actually outlast a year, you haven't seen anything yet. Stay curious with us, because the universe only gets weirder from here. So, what do you think is waiting for us at fact number 1?